Hey yo, what is happening guys? This is the Light Nature coming at you with another video. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the Spider-Man 4. So this is practically a rundown of the news and information so far, as well as some other stuff. So let's just dive straight into it. So we know Spider-Man PS4 will be releasing September 7th. However, there is more information. Insomniac Games plans on keeping players hooked onto their Spider-Man PS4 game by continuing to release new content after the title hits the shelves. Promising the most expansive Spider-Man game to date, PlayStation owners will be able to soar across New York's skyline at the press of a button, explore a brand new storyline, and meet with some familiar faces from Peter Parker's long history. Insomniac Games is hyping Spider-Man ahead of its September 7th release with news and post-release downloadable content. According to Game Informer via Reddit, Spider-Man's story doesn't end when the campaign finishes. An extra mode will keep players hanging around a little longer. Insomniac has already revealed that both Spider-Man PS4's Collector's Edition and Digital Deluxe Edition will come with 3 extra levels as part of the City That Never Sleeps add-on. But taking it one step further, the game post-release will see that the City That Never Sleeps initiative keeps the ball rolling. However, it's unclear if both add-ons are one and the same, and if they will be free for all users. I don't think it'll be for free for all users, but let's continue reading. DLCs provide popular with Rocksteady's Arkham games and forcing fans to part with their cash to play as Catwoman or Nightwing was a crafty way of making more money. Following in those footsteps, Insomniac is gifting gamers a treat thanks to the City That Never Sleeps initiative, which will still ditch microtransactions. In fact, creative director Brian Entire says hell no to the possibility of microtransactions. Each additional drop will include a villain, a new storyline, and some new suits, with the first DLC being dubbed the heist involving Catwoman and the New York City Bank. No pricing was revealed, and given the character's cat burglar status, it's unclear whether the mission will see gamers play as Black Cat or as Spider-Man trying to stop her. Skipping the tire formula of origin games, Spider-Man picks up with a more advanced era of Peter Parker's crime-fighting escapades, and we'll see him facing legendary villains Kingpin all over again. Wilson Fisk is just the tip of the iceberg of who Spider-Man will face, but Insomniac is trying to keep a lid on who else will be bringing crime to the city. Either way, the developer is working hard to bring Spider-Man Sandbox to the PlayStation 4 alongside familiar locations such as the Avengers Tower and Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum. Mary Jane Watson will be playable character, and there is an opportunity to try the already high anticipated Punk Spider-Man suit, and with the DLCs promising something new even every now and then. Sure, now a lot to look forward to when Spider-Man swings into action later this year. The titular Spider-Man is in fact Peter Parker, though he's sporting a brand new Spidey suit. The game will not have microtransactions, but they will get 3 story-packed DLC expansions. Mr. Negative and Kingpin are confirmed as villains in the game. However, GI's exclusive gameplay reveal did hint some more villains like Shocker in a weirdly Iron Man style armor, Rhino, Scorpion, Taskmaster, and Vulture, and Black Cat will be the star of the game's first DLC. The game features a realistic version of New York City with the iconic landmarks and the city's solid grid system. That said, the Wakandan Embassy, Avengers Tower, and Sanctum Sanctorum are all featured in the game in their fictional locations. No word on whether the characters associated with those buildings will make it into the game. However, Insomniac's Spider-Man will not include the well-known balloon hunting side quest within Spider-Man 2. Though the game will have a bunch of side quests. Example side quests include Peter scouring the city for backpacks he's previously webbed, taking down Kingpin controlled outposts, stopping random street crimes, taking photos of gold cats for Black Cat, defusing bombs Taskmaster stashed around the city. Spider-Man interact with New York City citizens by swapping high fives, taking selfies, or pointing finger guns at random citizens. You know, the usually friendly neighborhood Spider-Man antics. The game takes place over the course of a few weeks, but we still don't know much of the plot. Mary Jane is a playable character. She is aware of Peter's identity, but they are not in a romantically involved. She also has a new career. Uncle Ben will not be dying in this game, so we are not going there this time around. So that is pretty good because, let's be honest, I'm sure Uncle Ben is tired of dying time and time again. But you know what, I'm actually quite excited for the fact that you can interact with New Yorkers just like that, showing them gun fingers and all that, taking selfies, high fives. That's pretty cool. Like I said, I love games where you can interact with the NPCs like Final Fantasy 15. Great NPCs, great game for me. Anyway, Insomniac addresses concern about the QTEs as well as the frame rates. Now, it has been said that the frame rates will be locked to 30 frames per second. I don't mind that. I honestly think 30 frames per second is fine. However, let's just continue reading this. As more details about Insomniac's Spider-Man trickle out, fans have been taking Twitter to quiz the developer about certain aspects of the game, including quick time events, frame rates, recently announced pre-order bonuses, and more. Quite a few users have expressed concerns about QTEs in the game, prompting the developers to reiterate that they're used sparingly, particularly during cinematic set pieces. In response to a tweet, Insomniac wrote, now this is a tweet straight from Insomniac to Evelo Saran. I don't know how you pronounce that, but the tweet is right over here. As you can see, he asked, game looks great but feels like extremely scripted at times with a lot of QTEs and dramatic cinematics. If the entire game is filled with those from mission to mission, then it will end up being a big problem. Half the game looks like Arkham series anyway. And then Insomniac replies, have you seen a single QTE in the game in form of footage? There are very minor points of the game using cinematic pieces. Now this is actually pretty good to know that it will not be completely cinematic, and I actually like that Insomniac Games is telling us straight on, and we get to read more over here. Another user took the issue of the game's frame rate, to which the studio noted that it has considered both fidelity and performance. So this guy practically asked if 30 frames per second is very vague answer that they actually gave when they talked about frame rates, but Insomniac Games said again it's about blending between fidelity and performance and making the right decisions for your game. Most of the other developers seem to agree, as we haven't seen another open world game on console at 60 frames per second besides Metal Gear Solid 5, and I'm actually happy that Insomniac Games is telling the truth of what they can do. And this is actually very smart marketing, I think, because of all of that with 60 frames per second and 30 frames per second. However, as far as pre-order bonuses go, Insomniac said the city that never sleeps will be available to purchase separately. And the last thing about file size. Now the file size, they didn't actually say it, but they did say that Spider-Man will be a pretty big, which is hardly surprising. So what do they mean by pretty big? I am guessing somewhere above 30 gigs, around 30 gigs, like around 30 to 50 gigs. This will be the file size of the game. So if you have slow internet like me, then you don't need to digitally download it. Just pre-order it like a physical copy or something. I don't know, do whatever you want. Maybe steal it from your neighbor. I would do that, definitely. But anyway guys, that is it for this video. Please do leave a like, helps me out a lot. Comment down in the comment section below, are you hyped for Spider-Man PS4, which heroes do you think will be in Spider-Man PS4? Which villains do you think will be in Spider-Man PS4? Do you think you're gonna get a physical or digital? Let me know in the comment section down below. Share with friends, because sharing is caring. And of course, most importantly, subscribe and become a fellow lightning bolt. Anyway guys, that is it for this video, and as always, this is Lightning Chat. Blaze out.